Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your master of monstrous mayhem. Ooh, I can get a lot of M's in here. And also the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. I'm also the publisher of Zenorama, the Journal of Heroes and Monsters. Just saying. Today, we were going to review The Creature from the Black Lagoon since Svengoolie aired it last night. However, next Saturday, he's airing Monster Zero, and that's the only title I'm ever going to call it. And since that's I haven't reviewed the next movie in the series, I want to say this is the fifth one, that's the sixth one. So we're going to review Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster, or as it's known, oh my gosh, it's known by about 100 other names. Sandai Kaiju Chiku Saidai no Kessen. Three giant monsters, Earth's greatest battle. I don't know. It's really, well, it was the first one that didn't actually have Godzilla's name in it, in the second one here in the States. It was released in Japan on December 20th, 1964. It was the second Godzilla movie of 1964 after Godzilla versus the Thing. So anyway, before we get too much further into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the subscription bell to be notified every day of new content. And if you could, watch a couple minutes, 3 or 4, we'd really appreciate it. Helps the algorithm, don't you know? Having said all that, we can now get into the movie. All right, so this is a Red Menace reproduction, or I don't even know what you want to call it, a restoration of the U.S. cut of the movie, which is a little different. It runs about 85 minutes, I believe. The Japanese running time was 93, so they edited out here and there. I only watched the Japanese version once, maybe, but this is a Walter Reed Organization Inc. presentation of Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster. The O has been added in recent years. That's Toho's official spelling, English spelling of it, but so we do have a trailer here. We'll be listening to a bit of that off and on, and it's fun. It's only about 2 minutes long. There's also an interesting trailer I found at the end, or I'll put it at the end of the show. Anyway, it goes through the credits here really quickly. English dialogue by Joe Bellucci. I believe this was dubbed by Titan. The voices all sound very familiar, and they have the faux Japanese accent, or what they think was a Japanese accent back in the 60s. But you can see some film sounds, music, because they did replace some music. Can't really tell. Ray Angus. I think I coughed a lot. Peanuts. And of course, Tsuburaya had to get named. And there, once again, the Inoshiro Honda credit shows up for Ishiro Honda. Just never know. So we start out in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. I guess and Naoko Shindo is there attending the UFO Society. They're trying to see if UFOs will contact them. They're on the right track, and some fans believe that the Exians, aliens from Planet X, had sent Ghidrah down to soften the Earth up. Toho's never said that. That's just a fan theory. But they are aliens. They think she's a negative vibe merchant. And come on, Neil, get out of here. This is not hippie talk. But that her skepticism has kept him away. But there's one fireball that lands in Mount Kuradake, and so there's Detective Shindo's been assigned to bodyguard the Princess Salno of Selgina, and because if they don't keep her safe, if she's not there, they might go to the other side. They don't really mention what the other side is, but I guess We could assume China or Russia because they were allies at the time. Naoko also tells the scientists there's no such thing as brainwaves. Makes me wonder about her. Anyway, but there's the Princess Salno, played by Akiko Wakabayashi. Let me look here at the cast. Here, I'll get some of these names. That's Yosuko Natsuki as Detective Shindo, and we haven't got to anybody else yet. There's the plane, and uh, I was hoping that his name would be in here. I really should. You'd think I'd learn to click on IMDb. There's Malnus, who's the bad guy, and his boss, who we never know what happens to. Is he back there, and Selgina is still plotting against the princess? We just don't know. Malnus is played by, where'd he go? Hisaya Ito, and he wears glasses to kind of try to hide his, Japaneseness. They did that a lot. And there is the princess being warned by the Martians / Venusians. Um, Overall, I was hoping to see who that was, but they don't even know. Anyway, I'll keep looking. And he's about to serve her a drink. She asks for a drink, and it's got something with lime wedges in it. That is Dr. Death himself, or toy maker Minami Hideo Amamoto. I thought so. I just wasn't sure, but yes. And tiny little roll with these frills around their necks. Jeez. Off she goes, right out the door. Then the plane blows up, killing everybody else. And now our other lead here, the scientist, um, Professor Mura, is Hiroshi Koizumi. We've seen him in many things as well, and we know who the Peanuts are. But they're on a hike to go see the meteorite, and you get some gorgeous scenery. This Red Menace reproduction or restoration is just gorgeous. I think it used the Blu-ray, but um, yeah, I don't even have to embiggen stuff. The meteorite is magnetic on occasion, and of course their compasses don't work. But there it is in all its glory. So now they're back on a set, and this set we've seen similar sets we will see in many movies. So you can kind of tell when the plants don't look quite as real and the rocks don't look as nice as they did a minute ago. So now Shindo's being told that the princess plane blew up and she's dead. So off they go. I just like this picture of Naoko using marking tape to edit things in, reel to reel tape, because that's what you did back in the day. Having done that in the past, it's a pain in the butt. I'm sorry. I'm digital. I prefer. It's just easier. And he sends her out because there's a prophetess. There she is. She's speechifying and pontificating, if you will. And it is the princess, but she doesn't have a name. She just tells everyone she's a Martian in the U.S. dub. She's a Venusian in the Japanese version, which, who cares? Martian sounds more exotic, really. And I liked his little viewfinder here. They're watching. It's glowing red. Dun dun dun. Nice painting back there. You'd think it was in right there with him. There's Mama Shindo, who's pouring tea for everyone. Naoko is just like meh. But you can tell they're brother and sister because she just lays right over them to change a channel to watch the mysteries, unexplained mystery. No, wait, where are they now? That's not the unexplained mysteries of the 20th century. And you get Mo and Larry, or Stanley and Ollie, R2 and C3PO, and these two little kids. Quiet. We're still on. We're live on the air because he says they're about the same size. Yeah, let's see. So they want to know where Mothra is, and there are the fairies, the Shobijin. They sing, and everyone travels back in time. Or I guess they have a great camera, that's for sure. Because there's Mothra, is just a little one, because the other one died. Two of them, because the Godzilla killed one, and then probably I think the twin Mothra, as I expounded upon in the last episode in Godzilla vs. the Thing, was also killed. Too much action, but and then finally they've got a camera there in Infant Island, so you can see Mothra. That's great trick photography, isn't it? Look at that television. Shindo sees the princess and says, "Is it her?" Well, it's no crime to practice demagoguery now, isn't it? But the bad guy, the prime minister or whoever he is, still wants her dead. They're still wearing the neck frills. Off he goes to America. His gang's already there. They pick him up in this car, and they find out that she's really the princess because she's got the bracelet for her arm. They bring in the poor fisherman who's like, "What did I do?" Yep, that's her, all right. So Shindo's there having a blue mountain. Everyone's having a blue mountain. We'll have a blue mountain. Drink's not even blue. I meant to look it up and see if what was in it Blue Mountain, if that's even a real drink. But they're teasing Naoko about him being her boyfriend. So there's not a lot of romance in Godzilla movies, but it's kind of fun. Cocktail, or both a cocktail and type of coffee. Jamaican Blue Mountain cocktail is, yeah, it's got coffee in it, so it was just something they made up. I like a Blue Mountain, please. Now we're at Mount Aso, and if you remember your history, because we haven't really talked about Rodan, really, well, we'll go through the other Toho movies. We've done some of them. We'll do more. There she is, and she's like, "You should get away from here. Bad things are going to happen." Some idiot loses his hat. Some idiot goes down to get it, and then we see this. Now, for the longest time, and especially in a full screen picture, and you only see this, it kind of looks like that's Rodan's beak. I'm thinking it's his foot, though. I added that. And so everyone runs away, and up pops Rodan, the flying monster, who hasn't been seen since his movie in 1955. 56. One of the two. I love Rodan, the flying monster. He looks a little sillier in this one. It's going to happen. And once more, there's a very big compass going crazy. And then the fairies are leaving to go back to Infant Island aboard ship because Mothra can't fly since it's still a caterpillar. And the princess shows up. Naoko takes her back. The guys are watching, just having a good time, just camping out there, getting paid for it, I assume. The guides all just left the scientists there. Shindo calls her and says, "Where's the princess?" Oh, wait, yeah. When the fairies are there, so I still think they, aside from uh, telepathy, they have teleportation. They probably have telekinesis because they float around. Because I think they move very quickly, but teleportation would do that. Uh-oh. No one's ever been able to establish what the hell these are. Some people say it's whales. Can't tell. Rodan shows up flying around, and let's listen to just a little of this. Nothing the screen has ever shown before can surpass the thrills of Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster. So Naoko's gotten the princess some at least modern clothes, and out of the fisherman's probably smelly. Ugh. I wonder if she got her a bath. They are both very attractive women. So this is where Shindo says, "Where is she?" She's upstairs, and then the bad guys show up. One of them, this gentleman over here with the mustache, they're dubbed in almost a New York style way, but that's Susumu Kurobi, who would later become Shin Hayata in Ultraman. He did not use the beta capsule. And see, the girls have now teleported over to the light switch, and the guns go off. Naoko's breaking the alarm so people will show up. They get away, and then Godzilla wades ashore. Dun dun dun. I did brighten these up a little bit because they were kind of dark, just to see it. I like the Hamasi. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. But so Godzilla goes on a little mini rampage. He's watching Rodan. And then the meteorite starts acting up again. And you get all kinds of amazing effects. And they just did a great job.
Created from an atomic fireball hurled from outer space, Ghidrah, the three-headed monster, threatens man's very existence on Earth.
They always do. Fortunately, when you have a bigger villain show up, the other two villains sometimes have a change of heart. But there's Mount Fujiyama, or just Fujiyama, this Tsukamoto laboratory where the princess is getting examined. That is right there. The older gentleman is, of course, Takashi Shimura, who was in Godzilla King of the Monsters. He was in Rashomon and Seven Samurai. He's just an amazing actor, and he just seems to be the most humblest guy. So Ghidrah's on a rampage, as we've heard, and Godzilla and Rodan. This is a lovely picture. Rodan looks much better. His neck is a little extended here, and he just never looked quite as good as he did in his first movie. But find me a monster that you can say that about. But he does look pretty good here. He's and he just plows over Godzilla, and same size. So I like this shot right there too. That's a really nice one, and a nice matte shot there. And they're just fighting. So the people are now coming around wanting to know what the military is going to do about these monsters. And they've got 4 now, well 3, because Mothra isn't on the way yet. And they tell him they're full of gobbledygook, like most politicians would be. Now the princesses are not dressed nearly as well as they were in the last movie or in Mothra. They're just wearing, sarongs really, and then they look like they're cold. And Naoko blabs and tells them where the princess is at the laboratory, and off the villains go. Then they say, well, let's call Mothra. So off Mothra goes. Now, they refer to Mothra as a he throughout this entire movie, which, it's no big deal, I don't think, because really, who's going to look? But another matte shot there. This is probably a bit of forced well, it's a great shot. And Rodan is immune to Godzilla's atomic breath. They only had one shot where it's animated, and that was when Godzilla destroys the ship. See, he's a little silly looking up close. And now the princess is recounting how Venusians got to planet Earth. Take your pick. Meanwhile, here are the bad guys. And, of course, they're going to try some electroshock therapy. Gimme shock treatment. She wants a shock treatment. Well, anyway, I won't tell the Roans to get out of here. So they just crank it up to 11 or 3,500. 3,000. 3,011. It just goes 11 more. And here's one of the more unfortunate. Poor Godzilla. He took it so hard in several shots here. I mean, look at that. That's both actors. I don't know how those were some strong strings. Drops and, oh, geez, Aichi Kamanga. So, unfortunately, that takes out the power and the princess is saved. And the bad guys show up, another gunfight with these guys. The bad guys have silencers, and the professor just wallops one with that. There's no way he didn't have brain damage. It was painful, and he sells. So off they go. And now I think Godzilla and Rodan are they call it a fight. I don't think either of them are serious. I think they're playing and having fun. They're wrestling. Man, that stock footage of Ghidrah's beams showed up in so many other movies. So Mothra goes and is going to talk to these boneheads and see if they can get them to team up. The 3 greatest monsters teaming up against an alien invader. It's as they said, it's the House of Frankenstein of of Toho movies, where you combined them. You know, everyone had a separate movie. And there's the volleyball scene, and I think we're going to take a little break here and insert this English trailer, the U.S. trailer.
Nothing the screen has ever shown before can surpass the thrills of Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster. Created from an atomic fireball hurled from outer space, Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster, threatens man's very existence on Earth. Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster, battles Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan for mastery of the world. Men quake before the terror of their unleashed fury. All new, all never to be forgotten. A new high in screen terror. Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster.
We are close to being done, so don't worry about that. Trying to keep it under half an hour. Mothra, of course, has to get Godzilla and Rodan's attention, and that's how she does it. And once again, Mothra is a mutant because most caterpillars do not spray silk from their mouths. Both monsters laugh at each other each time it happens. Your humble agent here did not see this movie in full for many years, but his sainted mother, my sainted mother, got me the 8mm Ken Films version of the Battles of Ghidrah, which has no Ghidrah. It's his first chunk here before Ghidrah and the monster shows up to fight Godzilla and Rodan and Mothra, which was misleading at best. I still watched it a lot because I had a Godzilla movie. I had an actual film of a Godzilla movie. So I knew all this part. I mean, they left out, it was mostly just the monsters. I don't even think they showed the people. But we did get to hear them. And of course, there's the famous Nyoko asks her brother what they're saying. And he's like, I don't speak monster. And let's see. Wow, I can't read what I wrote there. There's the monster talk. And of course, there's the, there they go. They're not going to agree because they're annoyed with humans for always attacking them. While Ghidrah is just blasting away at everything, including a mountainside.
Ghidrah, the Three-Headed Monster, battles Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan for mastery of the world.
That's also a little misleading. Well, there's the villain's car, and the only one that survives is a bloody and battered Malnus, who also is still very single-minded and still goes after the princess. His boss told him that if he didn't kill her, he would be killed, and boy, was he right, but not the way he thought he was. So I think that we're to the part where the fairies say, Godzilla, what terrible language, which everyone loves to say. And Mothra just keeps trying, and they just keep ignoring. So they go back to fighting each other, at least. But actually, Mothra crawls off, and after Shindo says, one of them says, these monsters are as stupid as humans. But they watch Mothra go off to fight Ghidrah alone, which we knew Mothra's as doomed can be, I must say. Just a lovely shot. Go and guess gets blasted into the air about 4 times. It's lucky they ever got another Mothra. But Godzilla's had all he can stands and can't stands no more.
Men quake before the terror of their unleashed fury.
Once again, the two actual the Rodan is a prop there, but and Mothra Godzilla gives Mothra a lift. A lot of tail biting in this movie as well, but I mean, just. And here is a scene that you will see in if you well, you don't even have to blink. I mean, it's there long enough that you can see it in Godzilla versus Gigan, where the Godzilla suit changes like 3 times as we're watching that movie. If you take out the stock footage, the movie's a lot better, a lot easier to watch because it's also much shorter. And just more zaps. Godzilla throws a rock to get Ghidrah's attention. Ghidorah hadn't been crowned king yet, at least not in the U.S. The princess is praying to some deity, Martian or Venusian. Now, according to Edgar Rice Burroughs, it's the goddess Isis, the goddess of death, but she was a fake. So, and I don't know about Venus. Shindo goes to rescue her. Malnus wings her. Some blood in here too. Meanwhile, so they've got the two storylines intertwined here while Godzilla and Mothra is getting blasted yet again. Rodan gets away with a lot of, doesn't get beat up quite as much. You know, these are all just screen grabs, and sometimes you get lucky with them. He shoots the gun. He shoots the gun out of his hand, and he also wings Shindo. And now she's yelling at him. Poor Godzilla. This, I would assume, is supposed to be Godzilla getting it in the stomach, but unfortunately, just the way it's placed. This is also in Godzilla versus Gigan. And when I saw it in, I want to say 1980 at a kiddie matinee, the scene was once again presented, and the audience erupted because, you know how the Wolfman's got nads? Thank you, Monster Squad. So does Godzilla, and it looks like he gets it right there. And Malnus gets wiped out. This was also a favorite to watch when I got the 50-foot version of Ghidrah, because he just grabs the rock and he's dead. So the battle continues, and Shindo and the princess are, fixing each other up. More tail biting. Godzilla gets it in the other side. Once again, much laughter from the audience of Godzilla on Monster Island in 1980, which, for the record, was not edited except for the credits. So they hoist him up, and we get some cooperation here. I mean, this is tag team specialists here, Mothra and Rodan. And everyone's still trying to escape. The forest is on fire because you can't have a monster movie with Toho that doesn't end up with having some kind of forest fire. And it only took one little larva to get Ghidrah covered up completely in silk, and then Ghidrah's had enough. He's had all he can stand. Everyone's cheering as it flies away. They're and the monsters are like, they like us. They really like us, sort of. Should have been playing that.
All new, all never to be forgotten. A new high in screen terror.
And then we have the end of the movie, which is nice because as I've mentioned, a lot of U.S. monster movies, the monster dies or whatever happens, boom, that's it. There's no after scene, no let's rebuild. But this is they have a little press conference here. I don't know why the professor is there, but and the princess and Shindo have a moment here. I think they liked each other, but she is a princess and he's a commoner, and she had to go do her duty, which is probably marrying somebody her father picked out for her, but he's not alive anymore because Malnus killed him. Anyway, you can tell it's a really nice, it's a subtle scene, and it's really good. I really like it, and She's still very friendly with Naoko, because they can be friends. But I just love how people wave at airplanes and nobody that far away. You're like ants; they can't see you at that point in time. But there he is, wondering what if. I suppose that would be me. That would be what I was wondering. I mean, and the fairies say goodbye to Godzilla and Rodan, and they end up in the bottom of a lake, as we'll see next week. At this very, stay tuned. And they're going goodbye, and there's the end. Reconstructed. Thank you, Red Menace. Appreciate it. You can find it on Internet Archive. Just type in Ghidrah, pop right up. All right. Well, there is our uh, episode of the day, and the fifth Godzilla movie. Next week will be the sixth, strangely enough. And then we get into some, the Jun Fukuda ones, which I really enjoy. But it's quite good. All right, my fellow agents, let's play up some music. And until our next assignment, keep an eye on those space saucers. You never know what's going to be in them. This is X7 signing off.
What is it? It's taking some kind of form. No. No, come back! Your Highness!
What happened? The lights. Jewel, try the wall switch.
Wait, the door.